Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Afina Izzati binti Ashazri and I will be explaining the introduction part. Web content changes frequently and can be lost due to updates or deletion. Web archiving ensures long-term access to important online information and helps preserve digital heritage and research materials. Web archiving is the process of collecting and preserving web content such as web pages and multimedia using web crawlers. This is important because many resources exist only online and are at being risk of being lost. This project aims to preserve web content in its original form and to develop a structured repository that allows easy access, efficient searching, and long-term preservation. Next, for project background, the web archiving repository developed for this project is called MediaSpace, which focuses on preserving online news and media related to Malaysia oil and gas industry. This sector plays a vital role in the country economy and energy security, yet much of its information exists only online and is at risk of being lost over time. Besides, MediaSpace archives web-based content such as official websites of oil and gas companies and government agencies, online news and announcement, digital publication, and multimedia materials. The repository uses selected seed URLs and automated web crawlers to capture content, which is stored with metadata and made accessible through search and browsing features via a web-based portal.
And now I will be presenting about the comparison for our web archive repository. For the criteria of the primary focus for web portal is that a secure online hub that collects information from everywhere and places it all in one spot for everyone uses. And while for web repository is to preserve website data from loss in the long term. And for the accessibility criteria is web portal is open for everyone with an internet connection, while web repository is accessible with the correct access requirement. The scalability for web portal is high due to it being constantly updating, while for web repository is optimum as the web data remains static in storage. The interactivity for web portal contains various features to interact with, while web repository lacks in user interaction. Next, the data integrity for web portal depends on the website's maintenance, while the web repository keeps the originality of the website intact after a long period of time. While the searchability for web portal is advanced, has advanced search capacity, while web repository only have limited within the archive collection. The long-term preservation for web portal may be in risk of loss after an amount of time, while web repository can withstand long-term preservation. On this next slide, I'll be presenting about the advantages for having our web archive project. First of all, websites are preserved for research purposes, and next is that these websites are accessible for a long term, and they are available to be accessed publicly. And the importance for this web repository is that it is for history and cultural preservation, academic and research value, and legal accountability.
For this part, I will explain the web archive preservation design of our project, MediaSpace. First, I'll go through the flowchart. It shows how users move through the website. When users open the MediaSpace link, they enter the homepage. From there, they can use the navigation bar, which has three main sections: Web Archive, About Us, and Contact Us. If users click on Web Archive, they will see a list of archive websites related to the Malaysian oil and gas industry. They can choose one and view the preserved content. The About Us page explained what MediaSpace is about and why Web Archive is important. The Contact Us page allows users to send questions or feedback. After that, users can return to the homepage or leave the website. Next is the web structure. MediaSpace uses a simple hierarchical structure. The homepage is the main entry point and the other pages are accessed through the navigation bar. The most important section is the Web Archive, which is divided into two tools, H2Tracks and Conifer. H2Track is used for a static website, while Conifer is used for a dynamic and interactive website. In conclusion, MediaSpace is designed with a clear navigations and organized structure to make web preservation easy to access and understand.
Hi, my name is Aina Fakiha and I will be presenting the next part, which is implementation. This phase focuses on developing a working web archiving repository to preserve, manage and provide access to Malaysian oil and gas news and media using proper structure and metadata. So for our website, we have homepage. The homepage introduces MediaSpace and provides simple navigation for users to easily access archive oil and gas news in media content. Next, we also have Archives website page, which is include HTTrack and Conifer. This page displays archives static website captured using HTTrack, showing details like originals URL, archive date, and access link for research and reference. Moreover, we have Conifer. This page presents dynamic and interactive archive website captured using Conifer, allowing users to view, preserve online content with capture dates and links. Other than that, we also have About Us page. The About Us page explains the purpose, background, and objective of MediaSpace and archive for Malaysia oil and gas news and media. Last but not least, we also have Contact. The Contact page allows users to communicate with the repository administrator for inquiries, feedback, or technical issues. Moving on to Web Archive metadata. In the MediaSpace Web Archiving repository, metadata supports effective discovery and long-term preservation of news and media related to the Malaysian oil and gas industry. As shown in the picture, MediaSpace using HTML meta text to describe, manage, and preserve archive oil and gas news and media content. These metadata help users and search engines locate information easily while supporting long-term digital preservation. The metadata are grouped into descriptive, technical, and preservation categories. For descriptive metadata helps users quickly understand and find archive content. Text such as title, description, and keywords describe the topic and relevance of each page related to the Malaysian oil and gas industry. Next, we have technical metadata. Technical metadata records how and when the website was archived, including file format, size, capture date, and original URL. This information supports archive management, verification, and future access. Last but not least, we also have preservation metadata. Preservation metadata focus on long-term storage and sustainability of archive content. It tracks the number of archive files and overall archive size to support future maintenance and preservation planning. So, this is all the example from our website. Lastly, I'm going to presenting about the affected parties in Malaysia. The Malaysia oil and gas sector involves multiple stakeholders whose decision, operations, and knowledge depend heavily on access to reliable and well-preserved information. A web archiving repository such as MediaSpace support these stakeholders by preserving news and media for reference, analysis, and long-term decision-making. The affected parties are, the first one, regulatory and government bodies. Government agencies like the Ministry of Finance and the National Security Council depend on reliable data to manage national resources and protect the economy.
Media space preserve the history of policy development and public discourse, providing this regulator with a vital foundation for informed decision-making and policy evolution. The second one is industry players and service providers. National and regional leaders, including Petronas and Petros, frequently issue strategy updates that impact by the entire value chain. By archiving this content, companies can document their operational history and public engagement. This repository becomes a strategic asset for a competitive benchmarking and strengthening investor relations over time. And then the third one is media and research organizations. For broadcasters like RTM and organizations like the Malaysian Press Institute, access to historical media is essential for accurate reporting and academic study. A centralized archive enables journalists and researchers to conduct fast-checking analysis. So, this ensures that reporting on the energy sector remains data-driven and historically grounded.
In conclusion, the media space web archiving repository preserves Malaysian oil and gas news and media for long-term access through a user-friendly website. It supports researchers, students, industry professionals, and the public by ensuring knowledge continuity using structured metadata. Despite its benefits, media space faces challenges such as capturing dynamic content, managing storage and metadata, and dealing with legal or copyright restrictions. Future improvements include adopting advanced archiving tools, automating metadata creation, and strengthening preservation standards. Overall, media space plays an important role in digital preservation and public access to industry information.